What's up, everybody? We back with another video. Today, we're gonna be talking about Jackie. All right, man. We got Jackie's stats pulled up. So Jackie is a shooting point guard who specializes in three-point. Doesn't really specialize in much outside of that. He's also decent inside the mid-range area. And with his decent speed stat, I guess he's okay for the FLRs. So first stat, we're looking at his three-point shot with 74 at base. That is a really good amount of three-point shot, man. Not completely sure how much he has when you finish the cells and masteries, but I will definitely have that on the screen for y'all. So mid-range shot at 63 at base. That's actually not bad at all, man. Feel free to take those contested mid-range shots because he has an ability that makes it more likely for him to get those on in there, man. We'll talk about that when we get there. So close shot with 45 at base. That's kind of on the low side. Don't really recommend going for layups with someone like Jackie. You want to be making sure you're staying closer to the three-point line. Deep mid to the three is where you want to be hanging out the most with this, man. So dunk with 28 at base. Don't recommend it, man. Even if you get the opportunity to actually dunk that ball, the chances of it popping back out are extremely high. So make sure you keep that in mind. So still with 47 at base, not as good as Nico, man. Not as good as White and not as good as Justin. Not nearly as good as someone like Boa, but you can still get those rips every now and then because I'm pretty sure he gets a decent amount from his cells as well. So dribble with 55 at base. That's actually not too bad in my opinion. You don't really want to be dribbling the ball too much with him though, because you will get ripped more likely than someone like Nana, more likely than someone like Yui. So make sure you keep that in mind as well, man. You don't want to be holding the ball too long with this, man. Maybe 2 or 3 dribble moves or maybe 2 or 3 dribble move combos. If you haven't snapped your defender's ankles in half or gotten open by then, go ahead and pass the ball, man. You will do just fine. So pass with 56 at base. Not as good as the passing base point guards, but he will be giving you a decent amount of accuracy. He can't really pass it that far because he's lacking the pinpoint pass. So you're going to have to make sure you're staying within range of your teammates that you plan on passing the ball to. Don't do a turnaround step back into a dribble move. Way to the opposite side of the court away from your teammates. You're going to have a bad time, man. So speed with 70 at base. That's just 4 less than Nana and Albert. So he actually has a pretty good speed stat. You want to stack some more speed on here to get more opportunities to get wide open. And considering the fact that he's also a defensive point guard, you also want to have that speed to help you out on defense. So jump with 17 at base. Not very good. Stay out of the paint with this, man. Rebound with 26 at base. Just go for the dive, man. Going to be nearly impossible to get those rebounds over bigs. So block with 44 at base. Jackie has the highest block stat of the point guards. May has the highest power stat. Jackie has the highest block stat. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. Going to be very difficult to actually get a wide open shot on this man because his block height is actually decent. I'm not going to say it's insane like someone like Conan, but it is pretty good for a point guard. So make sure you keep that in mind too. With power of 25 at base, once again, you don't want to be dunking with this man because other point guards will not have a hard time blocking your dunks. So let's jump to the abilities. All right, man, we got Jackie's abilities pulled up. First one we're looking at is disturbance mastery. So let's read it. Increase the interference rate when defending and reduce the interference rate with the ball. So at level 2, interference rate increases by 3% and the interference rate decreases by 3%. So the increase is going to be on defense. The decrease is going to be on offense. So level 3, the interference rate increases by 5% and the interference rate decreases by 5%. So that's going to be a total of an additional 8% extra disturbance when you're on defense and 8% disturbance resistance when you are on offense. Very important to note, man. This is a very strong ability. It's actually similar to David's, what's it called, man? The defense force shot, because I think David's only getting 8% disturbance resistance as well. So let's read the next one. Turn around, step back. Turn around and step back sideways when dribbling. It can distance you from the defender and can be combined with dribble move. So level 2, turn around speed plus 10 and step back distance plus 10. And it can be combined with dribble move. At level 3, the exact same thing, except you're going to get an additional 3% extra accuracy during any scoring means during this dribble move. But he does not have a pull up, so you can ignore that part of the level 3, man. Next, we're looking at upspring. Now, I used to think this ability was useless until I got my ankle snapped in half, and I'm able to consistently mark my opponents right after. So no, this ability is not useless. Most people say it's useless, man. But if you have just barely good defense like I do, and you get your ankle snapped in half a lot, this ability definitely comes in handy. So let's read it. You can recover faster from being knocked down at level 2. Time to recover from being knocked down minus 5%. And the same thing at level 3 for a total of 10%. Yes, you want to make sure you are maxing this out, man. You get your ankle snatched in half. You want to get back on top of your defender as soon as you can. And last, certainly not least, we're looking at his fadeaway three-point. Definitely comes in handy, man, behind a screen, after an ankle breaker. Comes in handy in a lot of different kinds of situations. So let's read it. Base accuracy will decrease when making fadeaway three-point shots. At level 2, you get 2% disturbance resistance. At level 3, you get 2% extra accuracy to your wide open shots. And at level 4, you're going to get extra accuracy depending on your distance from the basket. Now, I'm assuming this means the closer you are to the three-point line, when you do this fadeaway, the more accuracy you're going to receive, because if he's further away, it's going to be lower accuracy out there anyway, and the bonus accuracy won't even matter very much. So yeah, man, if you're going to be using this, you want to be as close to the three-point line as humanly possible before you jump into this fadeaway three-point shot. You can make it from further away, but it will be much less consistent. So we're going to jump to the training area. I'm going to show you the turnaround step back, and I'm also going to show you the fadeaway three-point. All right, man, we got training area pulled up. We got our man Jackie in here. So first ability we'll be looking at is the turnaround step back. Marcus also has this, and this ability is exclusive to these two characters. So let's take a look at it here. Just like that, man, you're going to do a step back, and you're going to also go to the side a little bit with that step back. And yes, it can be linked with dribble moves. Let's take a look at that here. As you can see, man, he jumped into that turnaround step back, then he did a dribble move in the desired direction. You could go either left or right at the end of this. So let's look at this going to a turnaround step back and then a dribble move in the opposite direction. Whoops.
Try for a jump.
Don't judge me, man.
Good job.
All right, once again. There you go. Just like that, man. Easy does it. So with the turnaround step back, a lot of people do not know this. Like when I say a lot of people, I actually do mean a lot of people do not know this. But when you're doing a turnaround step back into a dribble move, or you're doing a dribble move into a turnaround step back, you don't have to tap the button a second time, man. All you have to do is just hold your finger on the button, and when it comes down to the turnaround step back, it will just go into the desired direction. So if you look at my button over here, when I start this dribble move sequence, you're gonna see that I only pressed it once, and I decided to hold it, so I wouldn't have to try to time it properly and jump into the next dribble move. Let's look at it. As you can see, man, only pressed it once, didn't have to tap it twice. You could also do this with a regular dribble move into a turnaround step back. Just simply hold the button, then hold your analog in the desired direction. He will jump straight into that, man. If you're double tapping it, there's a very small chance that you'll accidentally do a crisscross and run into your defender and lose the ball. Your team will be very upset with you. They hate jackies that lose the ball all the time, man. So next, we're going to be looking at the turnaround, not the turnaround step back, but the fadeaway three-point. Let's look at it there. Beautiful, sparkling three, get that on in there. So this ability isn't as consistent as something like a drift 3 because fadeaways reduce your accuracy by more than a drift shot does. So you want to be making sure you are using this, once again, as close to the three-point line as possible, because if you see right here, I'm standing extremely close to the three-point line. You can see my accuracy circle right there, but the further I go back, the more accuracy I'm going to lose. So if I'm doing a fadeaway from back here, very small chance I'm actually going to make that, man. It's going to bounce off the rim and fly in a random location. You don't want that. Be as close to the three-point line as possible when you are doing this fadeaway, and you will get those shots on in there more consistently. All right, man, that's just about cover everything. Just make sure you keep in mind, Jackie is a shooting point guard. He pairs really well with dunkers. As Dearman said inside the tier list video, man, I love that video. Very informative. If you haven't seen that yet, make sure you go check that out, especially if you main a point guard. Lots and lots of information in there for you, man. You also want to make sure you're playing really tight defense. He has a really good block stat for a point guard. He also has a really good speed stat for him to be a shooting point guard. Much faster than Justin, much faster than May as well. So yeah, man, stick to your defender. You'll do just fine. That's it. Now catch y'all on the next one.